For years, the internet felt like a completely different place. It was chaotic, unfiltered, and strangely free. People built their own websites, forums were everywhere. Search engines simply helped you find things. But somewhere along the way, the internet changed. Today, most people experience the internet through a handful of platforms. Algorithms decide what content appears, and billions of people spend hours every day scrolling through feeds designed to keep their attention. The transformation didn't happen overnight. It happened through a series of turning points that quietly reshaped the internet. The first turning point was the rise of social media platforms. In the early 2000s, websites were scattered across the internet. People moved between blogs, forums, and independent sites. But platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter slowly began concentrating activity into centralized networks. Instead of exploring the internet, users increasingly stayed inside a few massive platforms. The second turning point was the introduction of algorithmic feeds. In the early days of social media, posts appeared in chronological order. What people saw depended simply on when something was posted. But platforms eventually discovered something important. Algorithms could keep users engaged longer. By analyzing behavior and predicting what content people were most likely to watch, like, or comment on. Over time, algorithms replaced chronological feeds, which meant platforms were no longer just hosting content, they were actively deciding what people saw. The third turning point was the smartphone revolution. When smartphones became widespread, the internet stopped being something people occasionally visited. It became something people carried with them everywhere. Apps replaced websites, notifications replaced browsing, and the internet began competing for attention every moment of the day. The fourth turning point came when platforms realized attention could be turned directly into profit. Advertising models became increasingly sophisticated. Platforms learned to optimize content for engagement, which often meant promoting content that triggered stronger emotional reactions. Over time, this reshaped the type of content that spread online. The fifth turning point involved data. As platforms grew larger, they began collecting enormous amounts of information about their users. Behavior, preferences, location, interactions, all of this data fed the algorithms that now determine what billions of people see every day. These changes transformed the internet from a decentralized network of websites into something much more structured. A small number of platforms, powered by algorithms, driven by attention. And while the internet still feels open on the surface, the systems behind it have changed dramatically, which raises a strange question. If the internet evolved through these quiet turning points, what do you think the next turning point looks like?